Hey there, guys, and welcome back to the Two Players Podcast, episode 59. We're going to be talking about the news, games we've been playing recently, and then we're going to get into Avengers Infinity War, the whole spoiler talk. It's been out for a week now, so if you haven't watched it yet, don't watch that part of the podcast because there is a lot of spoilers, and I would highly recommend you check it out before listening or seeing any spoilers. But anyways, let's get into the news. So first up, we got a brand new Venom trailer. This is the second trailer overall, and it is the first time we actually get to see Venom towards the end of the trailer itself. So what do you think about this trailer, Damian?
It was garbage. It was really bad. The only good thing I could say about the trailer is the Venom suit. It looks pretty nice, when compared to the other Venom suit we saw in movies, which is the from 2007, and that looks like garbage. But I think the Venom suit in this movie looks pretty nice. You have the teeth, you have the long tongue. It looks pretty faithful to what it looks like in the comics. But that's basically where all the positives end. The dialogue is just extremely bad. It uses Eddie at one point that just says "you are a bad person" or something like that.
You're working for a bad guy.
Yeah, you're working for a bad guy or something. I'm like, that's just bad. I'm like, what is that? The acting felt very awkward. They couldn't pronounce things right. They call it symbiote instead of a symbiote. I don't know. It's just it just seems very not good. I do not have faith in this movie at all.
Yeah, since there's no Spider-Man or Peter Parker in this movie, they obviously had to take a different approach with it. I can see where they were going with it, trying to make Venom sort of like an anti-hero sort of thing, but also Venom's a voice in Eddie's head as well. So
yeah,
it's definitely very different. I can see why a lot of people are not liking it. Even with your opinion, I definitely respect it because, some of the dialogue is not exactly the best. But I feel like that this could be a guilty pleasure movie for some people where, they just like Spider-Man so much that they just, may happen to like this movie because they like the different approach and the breath of fresh air that they bring to Venom as a character. I don't know. But, for me right now, in my opinion, I'm just waiting and see the movie myself to form a full opinion. But expectations are not all that high, so
yeah, I'm kind of hoping it fails. So Marvel could just buy Venom out and they could just put him in actual Spider-Man. That'd be good. Yeah. But for now, we just gotta see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there was a new Sonic Mania Plus trailer, and it was the animation looks really nice. It was by, what's his name again?
Tyson Hess.
Yes, it was more of his animation, which is always nice. And it just shows Mighty and Ray doing stuff. It's basically what you expect from the games they came from. So, I believe Mighty could glide. I'm gonna go back and see.
Ray's the one that
glides. Oh, Ray is the one that flies. Yeah, he's the flying star. Yeah, Ray's interesting because his flying is very much like Super Mario when you have the cape. So that looks pretty fun to do in a Sonic level.
Yeah.
And I think Mighty has the... Hold on, I'm trying to go back to what Mighty did. He has a drop dash or something.
Yeah, the drop dash sort of thing.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, so they both look pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Two new characters, obviously. They haven't shown anything actually new besides those two characters, so I'm definitely interested to go and see what else this Mania Plus has to offer. It's still a lot of content just from what they're advertising, so I'm definitely going to buy the physical version, probably on the PS4, maybe Switch. I'm not exactly sure yet. But, I'm definitely looking forward to this Mania Plus collection as a lot of other people are.
Yeah, no, it looks pretty interesting. I'll probably just buy because it's supposed to be DLC, right?
You could also just buy the DLC.
Yeah, I'll probably just buy the DLC once it comes out because it does look pretty fun, and having more characters in Sonic games is always nice.
Especially those with those kinds of abilities like Ray.
Yeah, and ones that didn't show up in forever.
Yep. Okay, so next thing, very quickly, they revealed another pre-order bonus costume for Spider-Man PS4. It is the Iron Spider suit. Obviously, with all of the excitement and hype going around for Avengers Infinity War, it definitely suits, pun intended, that they put this in the actual game, and it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's just a little CGI animation, so we don't exactly know how it looks in game, but I would imagine that it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I hope it does. I don't want to get into spoilers for Infinity War because we'll talk about it, but I hope it does a thing that happens in there That's all I'm gonna say, because that would be really dope. But
Yeah,
if it
because
doesn't, it still looks cool.
the Spider-Punk costume, that's also another pre-order bonus costume, which was the first one they showed off, all has special abilities in it of itself. So potentially they were saving that in this trailer because, that's obviously a spoiler. So
Yeah. So yeah, again, I'm hoping for the certain thing it does in the movie. That would be really cool because it's inspired by Infinity War. So I guess we'll see once the game comes out.
yep.
All right, so now we got a bunch of trailers to talk about. So first we got Shadow of the Tomb Raider. They released a new trailer, and again, I'm not too familiar with the newer Tomb Raiders, but this trailer looks like really dark, and then like it's really just weird. So like Lara Croft just killing a bunch of like soldiers, and then she like kills an Aztec guy, and then like she's like sees a bunch of Aztec people. It's weird. I don't understand what's going on.
She kind of like questions if she's doing the right thing now, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I'm not too familiar with this series either. Probably more familiar than you because I played the first one. I own the second one, but I haven't played it yet. And I am interested to go and see what kind of story they're setting up for this game, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Maybe it's implying that she's becoming a shadow of her former self. I don't know. But it's supposed to come out later this year, September 14th, and it should release on all platforms. Currently, Xbox One, PS4, PC, probably. So, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this game, but I'm not, excited or hyped for it because it was kind of just announced out of nowhere, and it's coming out later this year. So,
yeah. Again, it's for people who are like, I miss Uncharted because Uncharted is like over.
Yeah,
so, like,
we were kind of talking about that earlier. So
yeah, you got more Uncharted stuff for you here. So that's good.
Yeah. Okay, so the next trailer we had here is the second trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I am a huge fan of the original Ant-Man movie, and this pretty much looks like more of it, but with a newer plot, additional characters, all that good stuff. And it's definitely a lot more, lighthearted as what we just saw with Infinity War to those that watched it. So, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this movie.
Yeah, no, me too. I really like Ant-Man 1 as well. I thought all like Phase 3 movies were like really good, and Ant-Man, I think Ant-Man was Phase 3, right?
Towards the end of Phase 2, I believe.
Oh, towards the, all right.
Yeah.
I always get the end of Phase 2 because Phase 2 itself kind of sucked, but like towards the end of Phase 2 to Phase 3 was really good. So yeah, Ant-Man was one of my favorites as well, and yeah, again, this trailer just looks like more Ant-Man, which is fine. I know some people might be disappointed because like we want more hype stuff for like other movies coming out, but I don't know. I think this movie will be fine. I don't think it's gonna be like no one's gonna like. Not too many people are gonna watch it. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, probably not as much as Infinity War
or Black
likely.
Panther.
Yes,
yeah.
Just because Ant-Man's such like a niche character. But if you saw him in Civil War, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people did, and you saw a solo movie, you'll most likely be going out to the theater and watching this. So,
definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, same here.
Because I like Ant-Man as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next we have Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer, and it was mostly just more of what we kind of know. It's kind of just walking around with plot.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like the game looks really pretty, and I'll probably get it if it isn't too reliant on the first game story. Like if it's like its own separate thing, I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to see gameplay because I don't think we actually seen actual gameplay, right?
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, because I don't remember seeing any actual gameplay. I know it's probably just gonna be like you ride a horse and like you shoot guys and then you get out. It's probably gonna be like Red Dead 1, which I know a little bit about a gameplay in that first one, but at this point, kind of just like, okay, I get the whole like what you try to do here, but it's like I want to see gameplay now, and they're probably gonna show more in E3, obviously, because the game comes out in like October, November.
I have the date, October 26th.
Yeah. So I'm kind of just hoping that they'll actually show gameplay at some point because I do want to see what the game actually is. But again, yeah, I'm hyped for it. I know some people are really hyped for it because they've been waiting for Red Dead 2 since the first game. So yeah, I'm happy for those people, and I'll probably pick it up if it's game 10s, and it probably will be. So
we know Rockstar, but yeah, as a person who played Red Dead Redemption a couple years back, like years after it came out initially, I knew that it was a good game when it came out, but I was like never into Rockstar games to begin with. But I believe I forget exactly how I got into it, but I randomly got it on the Xbox 360, played through most of it, and then I stopped, and then I rebought it on the PS3. Then believe I finished it on there. Just like restarted a whole new story or whatever. New save file, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am looking forward to this game. I'm not hyped like everyone else is, just because I didn't have to wait as long. And I recognize Red Dead 1 as a good game, but I wasn't like floored by it or anything like that. I was like, I enjoyed that game. It was a fun experience. Now let's move on to something else. That's pretty much how I felt. So, gameplay for this game would be, exciting to go and see. I would imagine that there's new features. The world for this game is probably going to be massive. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Not necessarily hyped as much as other people are, but it's definitely going to be one of the Game of the Year contenders of this year, if I had to guess.
Definitely.
Okay, so the last piece of news is details of the up-and-coming Life is Strange comic. We talked about this a couple podcasts earlier, and I read the article briefly, but pretty much spoilers for Season 1 of Life is Strange to those that don't want to be spoiled by this game's endings. So pretty much this comic book is going to be taking place after the ending where you picked Chloe. So it's going to go into that ending and sort of, the uncertain future of their life, I guess, and that's pretty much what the comic is going to be about. When I read that, I was actually pretty excited, just because I don't think anyone really thought of like exploring that sort of ending, like what happened after Max and Chloe left Arcadia Bay and the dust, pretty much.
Yeah, that's actually interesting, because I feel the canon ending is killing Chloe, like in saving Arcadia Bay, and I think a lot of people agree with that. So I guess it'll be interesting to see what happens with Chloe, because again, I feel like just nature just wants to kill her. Like, she just has to die. So I feel like this comic might end with Chloe just dying anyway, because no one wants her alive, apparently. Like, the world just wants her to die. So I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting, actually, because Arcadia's dead. Like, there's no one left. It's only Max and Chloe, and then we see where they go from there. It's just like a road trip, I guess.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting, though.
It's going to be, I believe it was announced as a 4-issue miniseries. So when it comes out, when I read all 4 of the issues, I'll let you know if you should also read it as well. But yeah, it's also going to be called Life is Strange Dust, which, is a little, I guess, ironic, because, Arcadia Bay was left in the literal dust from that storm. So, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this comic as it's supposed to come out later this year, I believe. So,
yeah.
Okay, so now let's get into some of the games we have been playing recently. Do you want to talk about Fortnite Season 4 together real quick?
Yes, we can talk about Fortnite.
Okay, so you bought the Battle Pass again.
I did.
So what do you think about this Battle Pass compared to the last one? Because personally, as an outsider who has never spent a dime on this game, I feel like that this Battle Pass, in terms of like the cosmetic stuff, isn't as like exciting compared to last season's.
I thought that at first, and then I saw the cool things with the first skin you get, like the blue guy, and then the tier 100 skin, the Omega skin.
Yeah.
As you level up during the season, you get more parts for their costumes, and then they turn out to be looking like really cool. Like the first dude you get, like, looks like a blue Iron Man, and then like the last guy you get, if you level your account to level 80, just turns into like Black Panther. I'm like, that looks dope as hell. So like those 2 skins alone just make all the other cosmetics, like, I don't even care, dude. But but the other skins, I do like the like the spray paint lady. She's cool. I've been using her a lot. The rest of them are just okay. Like, I didn't really like the 2 soldier men, the lollipop girls, whatever, and the like the bootleg Wonder Woman is just like, okay. Her face looks weird, so like I don't really know about that. But I think all the emotes, the pickaxe and the gliders you get are really cool looking in this one. Like, I do like those a lot. I like them a lot more than the first Season 3 Battle Pass. And I think some people might agree that Omega might be cooler than John Wick as the tier 100 skin. I mean, if you never watched John Wick or know how badass he is, then you might think that too. Because, like, this skin is way more, like, flashy. But I know some people don't like the flashiness because, you stand out pretty easily. But, no, I actually really like this Battle Pass. And I like how they're handling the, how to really get the true, like, tier 100 skin is to, like, you actually have to play the game. Because I know some people had the John Wick skin as soon as Season 3 started because they spent, like, 100 V-Bucks to, like, or, like, like 100,000 V-Bucks to, like, get all the way to tier 100. It's like, oh, I got John Wick. Now I'm just, like, whatever. This one actually feels like you actually have to, like, play to get, like, the good skin. So I do like that a lot. And I also like that the first skin isn't, like, garbage. Like, once you level it up, it actually looks really cool. But yeah, no, I do like the battle passes. I feel like the challenges might get too samey as we continue on, because it's like, hey, search 7 chests in haunted hills, like I did that last season, or like find the letters that make Fortnite. I'm like, all right, like
Yeah.
like they are getting a little samey. Like it's fine. I still like doing them because it gives me a goal to work on. Usually I'll play Fortnite for like an hour or two, and then I'm good. With the challenges, I could go on for like a little bit longer because I want to complete all of them. But yeah, I in general I like the battle pass a lot. I think it's a great idea for progression, and like besides just leveling up, you got items to work for. And I think for $10 to get all these cosmetics, I still think it's worth it. But if you don't like the cosmetics, then don't buy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, but if you do, then go ahead. I think it's just fun things to grind for, basically. If you like progression like I do. Like, obviously, I like being good at the game too, but I also like getting stuff. So yeah, no, I think it's good.
Yeah, working towards something always makes it easier to come back come back to the game, because I think that's what like League was missing when you like left. Like there was like no reason to like keep playing other than just to keep playing.
And mostly when this game doesn't have ranked, so it really doesn't have anything. Like, it's like, I could get a bunch of solo wins, but it's like, I can't get like even though I never really cared about that. I know for some people that might be like, all right, now that actually there's no progression in this game. So I think the Battle Pass really fills in that void. And I'm happy for it, because I like that more than like a ranked mode. And I don't think a ranked mode would even work well with Battle Royale, so.
Yeah, because, there's 100 people. If you die first, what's going to happen? You're just going to lose a bunch of like ladder points or something. Like
yeah,
it's just a little weird if they were to do a rank mode. But the new map, they added a couple new things on there.
Dusty Divot.
Yes, Dusty Divot. That's pretty much the new Tilted, because everyone wants to go there and get the rocks or the crystals or whatever you want to call them.
The rocks are hype as hell.
Yeah.
Dude.
When I updated Fortnite, and then like I was like, what the hell is over there? So I didn't land directly there, because I was like, everyone's gonna go there, obviously. So I landed in Salty, and then I went to Dusty, and then I just like cleaned everyone else up there, and then I grabbed one of the crystals, and I was like, oh, what the hell? Like you could actually just like jump like there's no gravity on you.
Yeah.
So
it's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I haven't gotten into a battle against someone else who also had the crystal as well. I would imagine that would get just like, a little crazy. So
yeah.
But it's definitely very cool. There's also other points on the map where those crystals are. So personally, I think that this is a fine addition to the game, especially since you grab it and then there's a limited amount of time on when you could have it. So it's not exactly all that random. And like besides, like when they jump, where they're gonna land. So like you could like easily shoot them. So there's definitely counterplay in that aspect. So I definitely like the crystals as a new addition to the game, sort of.
Yeah, me too. Like I know they're probably gonna go away after this season, but I also think they're really fun. They only show up in the craters in the map. So if you're near a crater, you could grab one and then have like just a fun time just jumping around and stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised if like later on they like decided to like make that as like an item, like the grenades are or something like that.
Yeah, they might make it a consumable, like just like a legendary item. You consume it and you get that thing for a limited time. That would be cool. But besides that, they also added like Risky Rees or whatever. I forgot what that area was called.
So it's like pretty much a junkyard, just like full of cars.
Yeah.
I landed there once and I got completely destroyed. As you know, when I was like yelling when you joined the Discord or whatever. But
the two new areas are gonna be full with people. So.
But supposedly no one's landing at Tilted anymore just because of those two new areas, which is a little funny.
Fucking Tilted.
But
I don't think they added new weapons. Right? There was no new weapons.
No, they removed the crossbow.
Yeah, crossbow's gone.
Yeah, so they retired it for now because no one was using it pretty much.
It was kind of bad.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, if you found that, you pretty much was like, oh shoot, like I pretty much don't have a gun here. So,
yeah.
But I think I got at least one kill with that thing once
for
like some reason.
One kill. I had one kill because I had to for a challenge. I'm like, I hate this. So.
But is there anything else we need to really talk about Fortnite in terms of like the new stuff that they added?
Not really. Just it's a good game and you should play it.
Yep. Obviously, I have been playing League of Legends. they just released a new patch. So like they did like some mana changes and stuff like that. So like supposedly like Zyra's pretty good, Karma's pretty good. Like those like chambers that spam spells a lot are pretty good now. Personally, I haven't played on this new patch a lot, like at all, really. So I have no idea. But you know, it's definitely very interesting to go and see where the support meta is leading to right now. So. And then I've also been playing God of War for PS4. I'm going to save my thoughts on that for another time, pretty much in my review that'll be going up later today. But what do you think about the game so far, Damian? Because pretty much I just think that the game's like really good.
I think the game is great. I didn't buy it launch day because I was like, I'll get it later, but I was seeing how many like tens it was getting, how many people actually really enjoyed it. So I was like, okay, I'll get it. And I've been enjoying the hell out of it. I think the combat's super satisfying. Every hit you land feels really meaty. I think the story is great so far. Like the kid is not annoying, and that surprises me. Like I thought that kid was gonna be really annoying, but I think he is like he has a good dynamic with Kratos, and they work really well together.
Mm-hmm.
The game is also really funny. I didn't expect to be as funny as I thought. Like I just like that really dry humor. That
the dry humor that Kratos has, or maybe he's just not even being funny. It's just how he is.
Yeah, it's just how he says things. Like it's just really funny. I like all the collectibles and stuff, like getting all the lore and like the treasure maps and stuff like that. It's just really addicting. The RPG, I know some people say the RPG stuff feels a little tacked on, and it kind of does. But I don't know. I think it gives it some like cool like build diversity and stuff like that, where how you want to build Kratos, like be more defensive, be more magic based with like a rune power, or be more like offensive, like just with your axe, which is what I'm doing. And yeah, I think it's just great. Like I'm enjoying it way more than I thought I would, and I would say it's like my game of the year so far. Just everything is just so good. The only complaint I could really give it is I think the camera is way too close to Kratos, where I can't really see like there's like these arrows that are at the bottom of Kratos and they turn red when an enemy is behind you, but I don't feel like that's enough. I feel like the game should have just like really zoomed out the camera when you're in combat, because I feel like it's way too close to his shoulder and I can't really see what's happening behind me.
Yeah, personally, I'm kind of like the opposite. Sometimes I feel like the camera's a little too far for
me.
Yeah,
I feel
to
like
be
it's
honest,
too
because like
close.
when you play like over the shoulder games like that, you know, like when you compare Kratos to like something like I don't know, like Gears of War or something like that, like his character is very small compared to like a Gears of War model, I guess. I don't know, but you know, I guess with just how the game is, I think that that's why it may feel a little too close to you, because like you're trying to fight these people and then all of a sudden you see like this little red thing behind Kratos and you're like, oh shit, you know. So maybe that's it, or maybe, you know, for me, I'm just used to how other games, you know, put it. So
Yeah. Also, the game is pretty difficult. Like,
yes.
I didn't expect the game to be like as hard as it was. Like, I actually have to like pay attention. Like some of the regular, like I don't get what some reviewers are saying was like, oh, just press R1 and you win. I'm like, no, I get my ass kicked if you do that. I have no idea what you're getting that from.
They probably played on the they want to.
Story.
Yeah, they literally put like the easiest difficulty and then base their entire review on that. But I feel like if you're ever going to review a game or like criticize it, you need to play on like at least the normal difficulty. Because playing on the easiest difficulty, not everyone's going to play on that. And if you are going to review the game from that perspective, then you need to like disclose that. Exactly.
Yeah, I think the game gives you enough challenge for it to be really engaging, which is, you know, appreciated. I like easy games and I like difficult games, but I think this game is a nice balance of both, where it's like, you know, sometimes you could be wrecking face, but then like some werewolves come out and like, all right, these are annoying, or like those big guys with those giant great swords, and like those guys suck. So like
it's also extremely important that you upgrade your gear and the boy's gear.
Yes, the boy is so important. He does so much damage. Upgrade him.
Yes, it is very important that you upgrade their gear, because in previous God of War games, you know, you would just upgrade the stuff
skills,
like
right?
naturally, because you would just get so many like red orbs. But in this game, there's like 20 different things that you need to like look at. You got experience points, you got the hack silver, you got like the little shops that'll appear once in a while where you could actually like buy new gear and upgrade that as well. So it is very important that you continue to do that, because if you don't, you're gonna get your ass kicked and die a lot, like I did, until I realized that, oh wait, I should probably use this stuff to make myself stronger. So
yeah, you always want to be on top of your XP and stuff like that. Make sure you're upgrading your skills, get better gear, or else you're just gonna get your ass kicked. So
also, after you buy gear and you have the intention of equipping it, hit square, because I did that once and I was like, why is Atreus not doing the thing that I bought the new gear for him for? And I was like, oh wait, it's not equipped. Whoops.
Yeah, you have to actually equip it. Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, but so far I'm really enjoying it. The game also looks really nice. Like, it's a very pretty game.
Yes, it is. It is very beautiful. It's like ridiculous on how nice the game actually looks graphically. And like obviously I have a regular PS4, and people just make the joke on how like the fans are just blowing, but really like this is pushing the PS4 to its limits. So applause to Santa Monica Studios just presenting us a really nice looking game overall.
Oh, yeah, it's really crazy how they could do this with like the PS4 like regular. Like, it looks like something that needs the Pro for, but no, it also works fine with my regular PS4. So yeah, I also applaud them. Like, and I didn't notice one like frame rate dip. Like, it's been a constant like 30. I think it's running right now. So
I've noticed really one slowdown, but that was about it. But that was like we're like in an elevator sort of thing, like going up, but.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, like when you're actually like playing the game, nothing really dips or anything like that.
Yeah, I haven't noticed too many dips or anything like that. I think that's all I have to say. I probably have more to say when I finish the game.
Yeah.
But I want to take my time with it. And like do all the side stuff and stuff like that. Do like the Valkyries, and like I know that's gonna be annoying as hell, but I still want to do it. So yeah, probably when I finish the game, I'll have more to say about the ending and stuff.
Okay. Is there anything else you've been playing?
No, that's about it. Just Fortnite and God of War, really.
Okay. All right. So now we can get into the Infinity War discussion. So pretty much this is a huge spoiler fiesta. If you haven't seen the movie yet and you haven't been exposed to spoilers, you're a god, because for some reason, the internet just thinks that this one meme in particular is just hilarious, but I don't, which we'll get into in the spoiler part. So yeah, if you've seen Infinity War, or if you've been spoiled to death with it and you really don't care at this point, listen to our discussion if you want. But if you don't want to be spoiled, obviously leave this part of the podcast out. So Avengers Infinity War. So let's start with like initial thoughts. Like when we both walked out of the theater Thursday night, like what did you think about the movie as a whole?
Okay, so the first time, because I saw it twice, when we saw the midnight one and I got out, I was kind of mad because I'm like, they promised this was it, and then it really is a part 2.
Yeah.
So like, if you're expecting this movie just to be a whole thing, it's not. And it's also isn't really about the Avengers, more so it's about Thanos.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. Like, I think obviously like building your villain to be really threatening is a great thing, because Marvel needs that. But I just wasn't that happy about it being a part 2, being like a 2-parter basically. But I was still pretty positive about the movie after I left. I was still like pretty good, happy that I watched it. But that ending really got me until I saw it a second time. And I'm gonna let you do your initial thoughts before I go.
So obviously that ending was just like, wait, what? They actually like ended it off with like Thanos winning, and obviously like that's completely different from what we've been seeing for the past like 17 films or something like that. The good guys always win. That's pretty much how Marvel movies have been for the most part. And in this movie, Thanos won. He successfully got all of the Infinity Stones and snapped his finger and pretty much wiped half of the universe. And my initial thoughts was like, wow, I have no idea if I should put this in my top 5 or top 10, Marvel movies, and I really liked that they decided to, go into Thanos a lot more and, actually build a strong villain leading up to that ending. And obviously I feel like that the Avengers 4 title is 100% going to be Avengers Infinity War Part 2. They didn't name it Avengers Infinity War Part 1 cuz you would expect that kind of ending. But since they just named it Avengers Infinity War, you didn't expect the ending where Thanos won. And we have to wait until next year where Avengers 4 comes out and we get all this resolved and everything like that. So that's my pretty much initial thoughts. And I've yet to see it for a second time. I really want to. It's just that, I've been busy with everything else. But yeah, so I guess we could go into like the movie as a whole. So like what were like some of your favorite parts and like strong points of this movie?
I think the strong parts are like every Thanos thing. I think all his scenes really built like what he's trying to do. Like again, I think a good villain is like what he's doing. He thinks he's right. Like everyone else is like against him. Like he's the hero in his own story, and he wants to bring like peace in the galaxy. But that peace is like destroying like half of everything, so everyone else could live like peaceful lives. Like that's his thing. Yeah. So I think they did a good job explaining what his goal was, and like he was like, he's still a villain, but it's like you kind of get where he's coming from. Like, yeah, he's right. If there's all these people on like a planet, they're gonna drain their resources and like they're gonna all die horrible deaths anyway. Or he could like sacrifice half of that population, and the other half could live, and then they'll be fine. Like I think it's it's a crazy way of thinking, but it works. That's one way to solve that issue. I also think like all the fight scenes were great. There was like a lot of them too. Like, every other scene was a fight scene. I really like all the Guardian bits. Like every Guardian bit made me laugh like really hard. I love it. But again, the movie. I've been hearing this a lot too. The movie really isn't like how a traditional movie is set up. Like. There's no setup. There's no like character. Like the only character development really is from Thanos.
Yes,
and that's about it. Because he's the only character we don't know about in this whole thing. We have 10 years to know about every other character, so it just makes it interesting. Whereas like we keep moving along and not have to develop any of these other characters because we already know that from the other films. And I think that's smart. They could just move on with all this giant stuff they gotta get done. Just have a bunch of fight scenes and be hype because they don't need to do that development time because they already did that. And it's something that I think no other film could really do besides like this Marvel Cinematic Universe, because they've been doing that for the past like forever, past 10 years. So I think it's really interesting that they were able to pull all this off, and it came out like that worked. It worked out. It wasn't like it didn't feel rushed. Like it felt like no characters like that were in there didn't feel like they were just there to be there. You know what I mean? Like everyone had their part. And you knew what they were. Like it's crazy. Like I didn't know they actually were able to pull that off.
Yeah, it's mainly because of the whole cinematic universe sort of thing. I know that I saw a couple tweets where people were like, "I don't know who the Guardians were." I'm like, "That's your fault. Like, you should have just saw the movies if you knew that they were gonna be in here."
Yeah, like I don't, and I feel like it's kind of another thing against this movie is like if you're just watching this because like, oh, all my friends are watching it, let's watch it. I only saw Iron Man 1 in 2008, but like I could understand, right?
Or like you've seen like all of the other Avengers movies, and you've seen like Civil War or something like that. Like you didn't see the full picture, pretty much. I feel like you going in and watching Infinity War, you're probably gonna be lost at some points.
Yeah, I feel like the true magic is if you were with the series, like we were since 2008, and like just watch every single movie that came out, even like the really bad ones, like Iron Man 2 or something like that. And like, because it really puts everything together.
Yeah, and like one of our friends, Jeffrey, like he didn't watch Thor Ragnarok and Black Panther, and like I'm surprised he didn't ask us like why did Thor have his missing eye? Like he didn't ask us that at all, and I was like, well, we just know that because it was in Thor Ragnarok, but I guess he just assumed that that's what happened in the movie. He just lost his eye, so.
Yeah. Again, yeah. It really picks up right where Ragnarok left off too. Like it's just like there you go.
Yeah. So like, just like my thing with this movie is that the whole like first act was just done like perfectly. Like the whole like they set Thanos up by him beating the shit out of Hulk, which is something that has never been done in the Marvel Cinematic Universe before, where it's like Hulk actually lost a fight so badly that he didn't even want to come out for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that I want to praise Marvel for, was that their like different clips that they used in trailers wasn't used in the movie. So like that one like scene with like Captain America, Bucky, and like the Hulk in the background. But in reality, it was the Hulk Buster because Bruce Banner just couldn't get the Hulk out. So
yeah. Yeah, they did a good job like hiding a lot of things in this movie. They did a good job.
Also, the thing that we wanted to go and spoil earlier, the whole Iron Spider, like with the arms, I did not expect that at all. I thought that they just like canned that entirely, but I guess they kept it in, which was really cool.
Oh yeah, and that part was hyped, like, because basically the Iron Spider suit has like a bunch of like little spider legs that come out at the back of the Iron Spider suit, and that's what I was alluding to before. Whereas like I hope in the Spider-Man game you're able to do that as well, because that would be really cool. I also thought Iron Man suit was pretty cool. Like I know some people complaining about the CG.
When he literally just turned and like just started transforming into Iron Man, the whole theater was just insane.
Yeah, they were going crazy. It was insane. All the what I'm trying to say, all the weapons he had were awesome too. It just came out like so fast. Like, it's really cool.
It also just shows on like how much he has developed the Iron Man suit throughout these 10 years. Exactly.
Yeah.
So and like one thing that my brother, like when he went to go see it a second time, like people weren't as hyped as when we saw it Thursday night. Was that the same for you?
Yes. Yeah.
So like
no, because we saw it the second time we watched it was at like 11 o'clock, not p.m. but a.m. So okay. Like in the morning. Yeah. Uh-huh. So it was just like it was still a packed theater, but there was a bunch of older people, so it didn't get as hype as the midnight release. Mm-hmm. But I mean, people were still excited to see certain things, like when Thor came out.
Oh, and like,
when he finally got his axe.
There's no way you couldn't be hyped when Thor just came out and just like destroyed everyone.
Yeah, that everyone was like, yeah, that's too hype not to like go wow. That part was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie was great. Like I'll say it is up there. I probably put in my top 5 Marvel movies. It's just I feel like I'll put it higher when part 2 comes out. Like I'll probably lump them both together.
Once you see like the full picture and everything like that.
Yeah, it's just a weird movie to judge.
Did you think that like Thanos actually loved Gamora? Like when you were sitting in the theater with me, like did you actually think that he loved Gamora? I was like, come on, like really?
Yeah, I felt like that could have been expanded on a little more. Maybe they could have like touched on that a little more in Guardians 2 or something like that instead of the whole Star-Lord thing, because I feel like that's way more important, Gamora's relationship with Thanos. But I wasn't really convinced that he really loved her as a daughter. Like, I felt like he was always just using her to just find the Soul Stone. So I'm like, I'm not too convinced about that. Like, that part didn't get me too much.
Also, when we both first watched it, we were like, God damn it, Star-Lord. But and then, like, when I was thinking about it, like, the next day and, like, reading, like, Reddit posts and all this stuff, it's like, wait, Doctor Strange said that there were, like, 14 million possibilities and there was one that they won. So he pretty much did everything in his power to make that reality come true, with Star-Lord messing up, him giving up the time stone to save Tony. And like, all right, so when Thanos stabbed Tony, I was like, oh shit, he's dead. Like I 100% thought that they were just going to cut him right there. But when he, lived and, he was sacrificed for the Soul Stone, pretty much saved, I was like, oh, okay, so this is where they're going with it.
Yeah, I also read a lot of complaints as well about the whole Doctor Strange not even using the Time Stone or him giving it up too easily and Star-Lord. But yeah, I'm like, Doctor Strange literally said, yeah, this is the only way this will happen. So everything that's about to happen, even the ending part where they like half of them turn to dust, which we'll talk about in a second. But like when half of them turns to dust, he literally said like, yeah, this is the only way this will work. Like this is the timeline they win, but like all this bad stuff is still gonna happen. So I don't know why. Like it's pretty. I thought it was pretty obvious. I thought it was pretty obvious.
Yeah, I mean, when you're just like watching the movie, you're not necessarily thinking about all of these things, I guess.
That's true.
So some people were just like, God damn it, Star-Lord, you messed everything up. But really, Doctor Strange was just setting everything up for success. And like for him to like also fade to dust at the end, he's pretty much just being like, all right, guys, hopefully you guys win here.
Yeah, he's like, all right, you guys carry, we're just gonna die here real quick.
And like amongst those 14 million possibilities, like since they said that high of a number, like there could have been a timeline where he did use the time stone, but it didn't work against Thanos.
That's what I'm saying.
Like there's like so many different things that could have happened, but I feel like that what we got in this movie was pretty much showing that Doctor Strange knew what he was doing. And even like before when he was on the ship, when he's like, if it's between Tony Stark, the boy, or the stone, I'm saving the stone. But obviously
Yeah.
that changed once he read all of those possibilities. So, and just because of like that aspect, yeah, it just like blew my mind. Like, holy shit, wait, he has like 200 IQ.
Yeah, that's it was literally a 200 IQ play. Like he knew what he was doing, and like Thanos getting the Infinity Gauntlet and doing whatever he did in this movie is this is the timeline that has to happen. Like they have to like die basically.
Also, the whole like, all right, so everyone who faded to dust, they're probably gonna come back, right? Is that what you think?
Yeah, I think the people who turn to dust are coming back. But I don't know about Gamora and we didn't even talk about this Loki.
Yeah.
I think Loki's just dead, and Gamora might just be dead. People are saying she might be in the Soul Stone, but I don't know if she could get out.
Yeah, I have no idea on how that's gonna work because they have confirmed that Guardians 3 is coming out 2 years from now. So
Yes.
we don't know if that's going to be a Guardians with Gamora or without her, because there have been different iterations of the Guardians of the Galaxy in the comic books where, you know, it's not Star-Lord, it's not Gamora, you know, it's a different crew entirely. So Gamora could possibly be dead for the rest of the movies. I don't know. I felt like that her like limp body at the bottom of that like I guess cliff was just like a little weird to me. I don't know, because like I feel like with such a important character like that, you know, like being introduced to her in Guardians 1 and then, you know, her coming into Guardians 2, then Avengers, I feel like that her death would have been a lot more, I guess, you know, grand. I don't know.
Right.
So we'll just have to go and wait and see exactly what their plan is for, you know, to possibly bring Gamora back or, you know, seal her fate entirely. So, but is there anything else you could come to mind?
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but the whole dust thing. Yeah, they're coming back. Just like anyone that thinks they're dead, they're not dead.
Yeah, because like they've already announced a second Black Panther, a second Spider-Man. Also, when like T'Challa was like, "This is not a place to die," and then he just faded away, I was like, "Oh God, why did they have to do such dark humor like that?"
It was pretty good. I kind of chuckled there. I was like, "Oh no."
But obviously the whole like Tom Holland death, like everyone just praising him because of that entire because like I don't feel so good, and like honestly like that kind of like broke my heart. I didn't shed a tear or anything like that, but I was just like, God damn it, man, why you're such a good actor. I
know, right? I'm like, no, you can do that to my boy. Like, what the hell, man? That hurt a bit, especially
since like he like hugged Tony, and you know like Tony's been like a father figure to him throughout this MCU.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, obviously they're going to come back in the next movies in some way, shape, or form. There's obviously a bunch of theories out there, which we won't go into because there's like way too many of them.
Yeah.
But another thing that like really like cemented this movie as like one of my top 5 when I like kept thinking about it was just like on how like they structured the movie as a whole, you know, like having each like obviously like certain parts of the movie were a lot longer than others, so like they split, you know, the whole like Guardians crew into like those two groups with like Thor and also just like Thor's like interactions with the Guardians was just hilarious because, you know, Star-Lord.
It was awesome.
And you know, like I feel like that everyone in this movie got like their moment of spotlight, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how to put this.
Yeah, I like it because it reminds me of Subspace Emissary from Super Smash Bros. Brawl, where it's like you start like a small group of people, so like like 3 basically small groups, and then they get together, and then they form like, I think in this movie like 2 big groups at the end, one on Titan and one on Earth, and then like, you know, they both have their big climactic moment. It's basically like Subspace Emissary where that exactly happens.
How like everyone like got together and like what characters they put with others, you know, like Doctor Strange and Tony Stark, like that's like a perfect like, you know, dynamic there. And then eventually with Tony Stark and Star-Lord, you know, like that was also a pretty cool dynamic to see there as well. So you know, like definitely like the character picking and all of that stuff that they decided to, you know, mesh these characters together really did fit.
Yeah, I really like all the dynamics they have because, you know, again, like you said, there was a bunch of characters you didn't expect to see together, and I think that's what makes these crossovers so good. Goddamn,
Winter Soldier and Rocket was like my favorite moment of the entire movie.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that arm.
I'm gonna get that arm. I was like, God damn it, Rocket. Also, goddamn Captain America and Groot. I am Steve Rogers. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I am Steve Rogers, and that was good.
Like he didn't know that he would. that he only says those 3 words, obviously. So he was just like, I am Steve Rogers. I don't know.
It's really good.
Also, when like Scarlet Witch, like dipped on Vision to like help them because she obviously knew that they were gonna lose without her. And then like I forget her name, but the general was like, why was she up there the whole time? Like that was funny. And then it's like, oh shit, wait, they're gonna get invaded on pretty much, which is what happened in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So a lot of this movie was funny. Like it was a funny movie, but at the same time it like had that like dark, I guess, sort of tone to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what Marvel is good at, and why I always like it more than DC is because they really combine that dark, like, some dark themes into still some like bright, colorful characters, basically. Like, they're still cracking jokes like most of the movie, but it's like, the main plot is pretty serious. It's like this dude is gonna like destroy half of the like universe. So it's like, I think they do a good job like really getting serious when they have to, but also being like funny when they need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Marvel's always been good at that.
They definitely know when to break the ice, but also know when to be really serious about certain things.
Yeah.
So, like at the end when like everyone like, half the universe disappeared when they saw Bucky disappear, when, all of these sudden, I believe it was Falcon who disappeared when Rhodey was trying to fight him. Like when those characters were gone, Chris Evans didn't say like some joke or whatever, he was literally like, where did he go? Because he wanted an explanation as to what happened to everyone, which is obviously going to, be explained in the next movie where they all find out exactly what happened and all that stuff. But the end credit scene. All right, so I didn't tell you this, but I was like, I'm thinking they're alluding to the X-Men, like during that after credit scene, but obviously it was for Captain Marvel, so...
Yeah. I mean, it was. Wait, did they have the mutants, right? They could have mutants now. I forget.
Yeah, I believe now. Disney owns the rights to make like Fantastic Four, X-Men movies. So like that's what I thought that they were alluding to in that end credit scene. But obviously, it was for Captain Marvel.
That would have been hype.
Yeah, like
I was like, what?
It's because I saw like a like picture on Twitter to like some like comic book news article, and I was like, oh god, did I just get spoiled? I have no idea, but obviously I didn't. So but Captain Marvel, like a lot of people are now excited for her because like her movie is like a prequel almost to like most of the MCU, because I believe we're gonna see young Nick Fury before he got the whole eye patch, I believe. Yeah. So like that movie is definitely going to be very interesting to go and see, because we obviously need to learn on who Captain Marvel is, because I feel like if she just shows up in Infinity War and then just, saves the day, we kind of like need some, character development there. So that's why, with this MCU, they're going to do that in that movie.
Yeah.
So
and there's only like 2 movies coming out before Avengers, right? Mm-hmm. There's like Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is definitely very, very exciting. And I think that's about it. Is there anything else you want to bring up in terms of Infinity War? I'm coming to a blank right now because I think we pretty much covered almost everything.
Yeah, I'm basically done. I don't think I have anything else to say about it.
Yeah. I mean, like, some people said that it was paced a little weird. Some people said, like, the middle part was, like, a little, boring. I
didn't think so. I thought the whole movie was just, like, a bombastic, like, fight fest, and it was great.
Yeah. I could see why some people complained about, like, Thor getting his axe or whatever, because, like, that part was a little slow. I could see why people would complain about that, Yeah. But, when you get to see him just, like, destroy everyone, then that's the huge payoff. So, it wasn't exactly a complete waste, but, it might have been able to be rushed a little bit more. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So, but overall, Infinity War is definitely one of my top 5 Marvel MCU movies. It's literally just because the more I think about it, like the movie in it of itself was like a huge, like, just all these superheroes come together and they're all just doing their own different things and all that stuff. And I think that they did it perfectly with the Russo brothers. I think that they were the best choice for this kind of a movie, especially since they did such a fantastic job with Civil War with all those superheroes in there. Just add a couple more in there and we had Infinity War.
Yeah, no, I think they did a great job, like putting so many different characters and not making it a mess. I'm still amazed that they even managed that. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, All right, so I think that is the end of the Two Players Podcast, episode 59. Thank you guys for listening to us once again, and we will see you guys 2 weeks from now with the next episode.
See ya.